Certain moments in life arrive, not just as dates on a calendar. They are gateways. They carry a distinct presence, a weight. Yet this pressure is not here to crush you. It is here to invite you into a deeper state of awareness. Consider these days as a sacred fire. You can either be consumed by its heat, or you can step through it, allowing yourself to be purified and emerge with greater strength. The choice resides within you. The unrest you may feel, the questions in your mind, the sense of tightness in your spirit, these are not random currents. They are flowing from a deep and meaningful source. A part of you is ready to grow. An inner truth is stirring, asking to be seen. This is not a time for distraction or turning away from what feels difficult. These moments, the 10th, 11th, and 12th, are calling for your full being. They require your quiet attention, your focused intention, your unwavering presence. You do not get to sidestep this inner work. Numbing the feeling only ensures its return with greater force. This is the moment to meet it with openness, without resistance, without delay. For the breakthrough is not found after the struggle. It is found in the heart of the struggle itself. What you are sensing now is an invitation to look inward. The apparent chaos in the world around you is merely a reflection of the inner world you may have overlooked. These days have a way of bringing everything to light. The old stories, the deep-seated sorrows, the quiet doubts, the hidden fears. You can either drown in these waters, or you can learn to navigate them. But navigating them does not mean pretending the currents are not strong. It means using their power to guide your journey. It means allowing the churning waters to shape you, not to break you. During this passage from the 10th to the 12th, the temptation to retreat will be strong. You may feel a deep sense of fatigue. You may feel a sense of being tested. In these moments, it is vital to remember that meaningful growth never blossoms in comfort. True strength is not forged when life is effortless. Inner discipline is not truly known when all is calm. Consider these 3 days your sacred training ground. You are being refined. You are being prepared. You are being invited to let go of every pattern that no longer serves your path. You may not grasp the reason for the intensity, but that is not what is asked of you. Understanding often follows the experience. For now, the practice is one of profound endurance. Can you remain centered while the earth beneath you feels unsteady? Can you hold a quiet space when your emotions are calling for release? Can you stay true to your deepest values when external forces pull you in every direction? That is the real practice. These days are designed to interrupt old cycles, to gently dismantle the false self, to dissolve the illusions you have constructed, illusions of security, illusions of who you believe you are. The storm is not your adversary, it is your mirror, and what you see in that mirror, especially on the 10th, 11th, and 12th, is your own truth, not the version you present to the world, not the story you try to believe, the raw, unfiltered essence of your being, the part of you that can no longer be ignored. The unease is not the enemy. The confusion is not the enemy. The feeling of vulnerability is not the enemy. Your only true adversary is the habit of turning away. Your only obstacle is hesitation. These days will apply pressure. They will touch upon every tender point within you. But this pressure is not a punishment. It is a catalyst to draw out the strength that lies beneath the surface of perceived weakness. It is a call for the centered spirit to emerge from the shell of past identities. If you can move through these days without falling back into familiar habits, you will emerge with a new perspective, a newfound clarity, a deeper sense of self-honor. But you must engage in the process, not with aggression, but with profound awareness, with your breath, with a deep stillness. You must not allow these days to pass you by unnoticed. They are a gateway. You either walk through with intention, or you remain in the place you have always known. Everything you truly seek, inner peace, resilience, growth, awaits on the other side of this passage of the 10th, 11th, and 12th. But to arrive there, you must be willing to sit with discomfort. You must be willing to release who you have been. You must be willing to be honest with yourself, in ways that quiet strength demands. This is not a time for performance. This is not a time to seek external validation. This is the time to listen to the quiet wisdom your inner voice has been trying to share with you. Patiently, persistently. Growth is never an accident. It is a conscious choice, made again and again, especially when it is most challenging, especially when every part of your conditioning wants to rest. These days are challenging. They are meant to be. If they were easy, they could not change you. They would not leave an imprint upon your soul. But you do not seek a life without depth. You seek a life of meaning. And meaning is discovered only by facing what many choose to avoid. So be still, be centered, do not turn away, do not collapse. The challenge is not the conclusion. It is the beginning. The storm is not destructive. It is clarifying. And these moments, the 10th, 11th, and 12th, are the very pathway you must walk to see with clarity who you are truly becoming. Hold your center, face what is, and walk through. The 10th, 11th, and 12th of October are not arbitrary. These days are here to illuminate what has remained in the shadows. And the truth is timeless. What you do not gently face now will simply return in another form. Perhaps with more urgency, more weight, more presence. The patterns of life present a lesson until we are truly ready to receive its wisdom. These 3 days are a potent reflection of that lesson, a clear opportunity, a profound invitation to awaken. You can choose to look away again. But understand this: the longer you postpone this inner meeting, the deeper the roots of imbalance can grow. Turning away does not offer safety. It only delays your evolution. What you bury in the landscape of your mind does not vanish. It rests. It waits for moments like these. Moments when you are tired, distracted, or vulnerable. Moments when your energy is already in flux. That is when the truth returns. Not to judge, but to remind you that your inner world cannot be forgotten forever. These 3 days, the 10th, 11th, and 12th of October, are not just difficult. They are illuminating. They show you with precision where you are caught, exactly what asks for your gentle attention. You already feel it. The unresolved path, the old sorrow, the fear you do not name, the one choice you continue to postpone. It does not dissolve when you shift your gaze, and now it is present again. The same pattern, the same feeling, the same internal reaction. These days are bringing it all forth, not to overwhelm you, but to ask for your gentle accountability. There is no more space for avoidance. There is no more time for pretending. You have had many chances to delay this meeting with yourself. The 10th, 11th, and 12th do not recognize your reasons. These are days of truth, days of gentle confrontation. You will feel the pressure. Yes, you will feel the emotional currents, but that is the very heart of the practice. Emotion is simply energy in motion. It carries wisdom about where healing is invited. If you numb it, run from it, or ignore it, you miss the message. And that message will simply arrive again, perhaps with greater intensity next time. Growth begins the very moment you stop running. Avoidance is fear wearing the mask of comfort. It feels safe for a time, but over a lifetime, it builds a wall between the person you are and the person you are meant to embody. These days are here to help dissolve that wall. Not with harshness, not slowly, but with a direct and focused light. And that is why it can feel so potent. The pressure is not chaotic. It is purposeful. It seeks to liberate you, but it cannot unless you are willing to sit with the discomfort you've spent years skillfully avoiding. Do not tell yourself it is too much. Do not tell yourself you are unprepared. You are here, now. You have simply learned to believe that growth should feel pleasant. It does not always. Sometimes it feels like everything is falling apart, but in truth, it is only that which is not real that is falling away. That is what the 10th, 11th, and 12th are for. To strip away the stories you tell yourself, the distractions you use to hide, the masks you wear to belong. These days are not here to threaten your life. They are here to dissolve the illusion. Look with gentle eyes. What pattern continues to appear in your life? What challenge repeats itself? What feeling constantly returns? That is your practice. That is your reflection. That is your path of growth. If you turn away now, you will meet it again in your work, in a relationship, in a moment of crisis, and it will feel heavier. It will seem more difficult, not because life is unkind, but because you did not listen when it first spoke in a whisper. Now, it must use a stronger voice. You are not a victim of these days. You are a conscious participant. You are being invited to evolve. And all evolution begins with awareness. You can only transform what you first accept. If you keep denying it, it remains alive in the shadows. Bring it into the light of your attention. Observe your habits. Watch your reactions. Notice your thoughts. These 3 days will make it profoundly clear what wishes to shift, if you are willing to cease avoiding it. This is the very point where most people turn back, where most people seek distraction. But this is also the very point where transformation begins for the few who are truly ready. And that is the difference. Some will be broken down by the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Others will break through. Not because they are inherently stronger, but because they stopped pretending. Because they faced what was uncomfortable. Because they chose growth over the illusion of comfort. The process is not designed to be easy. It is designed to be meaningful. And it is worthy of your effort. On the other side of this gentle confrontation lies peace. A true peace, not built on escape, but on profound honesty. A peace that comes from alignment. You do not find that by running from your truth. You find it by standing in it, even when its light feels warm. And yes, these days will feel warm, but that fire is not meant to burn you. It is meant to purify you. The 10th, 11th, and 12th of October are a window. A narrow passage in time, where everything hidden can be seen with new eyes. You can step forward with intention, or you can step back into habit. But know this, if you step back now, you will be invited to face this all again. And the next invitation may be louder, more insistent, more demanding. The opportunity for growth does not wait indefinitely. These days are your opening. Gently face what you have been avoiding. Do the inner work, quiet the cycle, or it will continue to turn. You do not need to be perfect. And you are not the mind. You do not need all the answers. You simply need to be honest. You need to be able to meet your own gaze in the mirror and say, I will no longer turn away. And then you take a single, conscious step forward. That single step is your transformation. That step changes the journey. The 10th, 11th, and 12th will not ask for your convenience. They will not wait for a feeling of motivation. These days call for your discipline, not in grand declarations, but in quiet action. When everything feels too loud, too heavy, too fast, discipline is the anchor that keeps you centered. Emotions will be like waves. Thoughts will be like rushing winds. Old habits will pull at you like a current. But you must hold your ground, for if you lose your inner structure during these days, you lose your connection to self. When the seeming chaos of life begins to shake your world, you do not need to do more. You need to hold on to the simple foundations. Rise with intention. Move your body with awareness. Breathe with purpose. Eat with presence. Return to the small, powerful practices that build your inner sanctuary. That is what the 10th, 11th, and 12th are testing. Your ability to remain steady when the storm wishes to move you. These days will feel potent. The world may seem more vibrant. You may feel more sensitive. You may feel a sense of being adrift. You may wish to retreat, to surrender, to shut down. But discipline does not ask about your feelings. Discipline is not about waiting for the ideal moment. It is about showing up even when nothing feels clear, especially when nothing feels clear. The mind will offer compelling reasons to take a break, to rest for just another hour, to postpone the inner work. But those are old, familiar pathways. You know them well, and you also know they have never led to true growth. The 10th, 11th, and 12th are not a time for negotiation. They are a time for decision. Decide to remain with your practice. Decide to show up from a place of strength. Decide to keep walking forward when every part of you wishes to stand still. In moments like these, discipline is your refuge. The emotional noise will try to distract you. The external pressure will try to overwhelm you. but your discipline, the daily rituals, the quiet habits, the practice of self-awareness. That is what will protect your focus. It is what allows you to remain clear while others feel lost. Without discipline, these days can feel consuming. You might be tossed about by thoughts, immersed in anxiety, caught in emotional loops. But when you remain disciplined, you remain peaceful. You remain rooted. You do not break simply because the day is challenging. You hold your center, and that center holds you. No one outside of you can remind you. No one outside of you can provide the motivation. You must rise from within. That is the teaching of these days, to build a kind of strength that does not depend on external voices, to find a kind of order that you create yourself, even when the world around you feels chaotic. Discipline is not a punishment, it is freedom. And these 3 days are the opportunity to see if you have truly claimed it. You do not need to be extreme. You do not need to chase an idea of perfection. You just need to remain consistent. You just need to move forward, inch by inch, moment by moment. Breathe deeply. Walk with awareness. Return to what is essential. The 10th, 11th, and 12th are not about how much you accomplish, but about how true you remain to your path. When you keep your word to yourself, especially when it is difficult, you grow. When you follow through, especially when you are tired, you evolve. Many people may falter during these days, not because they are weak, but because they have not trained for moments like these. They rely on transient feelings. They depend on fleeting motivation. That is why they lose their center. But you, if you remain disciplined, you will rise. Not with speed, but with a quiet strength, the kind that is built silently and endures. Your habits will determine who you are becoming after the 12th. Your actions will write your next chapter. The choice is simple, but it is not easy. Will you walk the familiar cycles, or will you finally choose a new way of being? These days are not here to defeat you. They are here to forge you into someone different, into someone truer. It begins with the decision to stay grounded when your emotions are in motion, to move forward when your thoughts try to hold you back, to return to your breath when your mind wants to wander. That is discipline. It is not dramatic. It is not glamorous. But it is powerful. It is the quiet force that keeps you aligned when the world attempts to pull you from your path. Remember this: emotion without direction becomes chaos. Action without discipline becomes scattered energy. If you wish to pass through the 10th, 11th, and 12th with authentic growth, you must commit to your inner structure. No matter how loud the storm seems, no matter how heavy the day feels, you must continue, step by step, breath by breath. There is no other way to transform. There is no secret, no shortcut, only discipline. And these days are your mirror. They will reflect with perfect clarity how dedicated you are to your own journey. If you stay grounded now, you will be unshakable later. If you follow through now, you will rise while others are tossed about. If you remain disciplined now, you will lead with quiet clarity when others are lost. This is not just another moment in time. This is the moment that reveals the sanctuary you have built within. These 3 days are not here to test your limits. They are here to help you see that your perceived limits were never real. But only if you remain disciplined. Only if you stay with the process. Only if you do not abandon yourself when it matters most. The 10th, 11th, and 12th arrive with a potent energy. And whether you are aware of it or not, that energy will flow through your being. What you do with it is the only thing of consequence. You can either allow it to scatter, or you can consciously transform it. There is no third path. These are not days for drifting. These are days that call for heightened awareness. Every emotion, every thought, every inner reaction, it is all simply energy. If you do not learn how to consciously guide it, it will move in undirected ways. On these days, you might feel a deep restlessness. You might sense something stirring within, something you cannot quite name. This is not arbitrary. It is the energy of life calling for transformation, but most people will not recognize it. They will immerse it in distraction. They will scroll endlessly. They will complain. They will eat to numb. sleep to escape, or argue to release the pressure. But all this does is scatter the opportunity. Because that inner fire was never meant to be extinguished. It was meant to be focused. Your body is like a sacred vessel. When it fills with this potent energy, it either spills over into chaos, or the energy is refined through conscious direction. That is the challenge of the 10th, 11th, and 12th. You are being filled with potential. But are you prepared to use what is being offered to you? Or are you going to allow it to pull you into reaction? You hold great power right now, not because circumstances are easy, but because life is so palpably present. These days arrive with an emotional weight for a purpose. The pressure is significant. The silence can feel loud. You feel more, you think more, you react more. And within that raw sensitivity lies your fuel, but you must learn to channel it. When this inner energy is high, it can either break you down or help you evolve. If you allow it to soar into anger, distraction, or blame, you will become entangled. You will create conflict with those around you. You will overthink. You will spin in circles. That is what scattered energy feels like. Dispersed, reactive, unconscious. But if you bring your awareness inward, if you breathe into the feeling, sit with it, and focus it with intention, that is where true change unfolds. The most profound breakthroughs often follow moments of the greatest pressure. And the 10th, 11th, and 12th are full of this pressure. You might not sleep as soundly. You might feel a sense of anxiety. You might feel lost in the woods. This is good. It means something real and vital is moving within you. Now, the question becomes, can you remain with it long enough to understand the wisdom it holds for you? Instead of running from the feeling, work with it. Turn the fire of feeling into the warmth of conscious action. Move your body. Write down your thoughts. Sit in stillness. Take command of your breath. Allow the energy to rise, but do not let it erupt unconsciously. Let it sharpen you. Let it refine you. These are days of internal alchemy. You are not here merely to endure them. You are here to use them. There is a teaching hidden within every emotion. Anger can show you where your boundaries need attention. Sadness can show you what you have not yet released. Frustration can show you where your actions are out of alignment with your truth. Do not silence these messengers. Listen to them. Feel them. Transform them. That is the work. That is the practice. And its power is never more accessible than on days like the 10th, 11th, and 12th of October. This is a test not from the external world, but from your own deeper spirit. It is asking, what will you do with this life force? Will you scatter it in distraction, or will you focus it into growth? Energy itself is neutral. How you engage with it determines your path. One person uses it to break down. Another uses the very same energy to break through. No more excuses. No more saying, I will do it later. No more pretending you do not feel what is rising within. These days are not waiting. And they will not come again in quite this way. You either evolve now, or you remain as you are. And if you remain as you are, this very cycle will return, stronger, harder, louder. The pain of transformation is real, but the pain of remaining stagnant is far greater. You are not meant to repeat the same thoughts, the same patterns, the same emotional loops forever. You are meant to change. You are meant to rise, but you do not rise by chance. You rise through clear intention, through the conscious use of what you are given. And these days, you are being given a potent energy. Use it. Use it to gently face what you have ignored. Use it to speak your truth with compassion. Use it to release what no longer serves you. Use it to return to your discipline. Use it to rewrite the inner narrative that has been holding you back. This is your window. These are your days. The 10th, 11th, and 12th are sacred if you choose to see them that way. But you have to be honest. Are you transforming your energy, or are you scattering it? The answer will be found in your thoughts, in your habits, in how you choose to be when no one is watching. These days are not about others. They are about you. The essential you, the real you. The version of you that either steps forward into growth or remains behind in comfort. Transformation does not require a special place. It does not need perfect conditions. It only needs your awareness and your action. The energy you feel right now is not here to break you. It is here to reveal you. So, stop running, stop reacting, take a deep, conscious breath and begin the work. Because if you can hold your center through these days, if you can focus, observe, and direct this inner fire, you will not be the same person on the other side. You will be clearer, stronger, and more aligned. And that is the power of using energy, not wasting it. That is the teaching of the 10th, 11th, and 12th of October. The 10th, 11th, and 12th of October will feel loud. Loud in the mind, loud in emotions, loud in the reactions of the world. People around you may feel a sense of urgency. Some will express it outwardly. Others will retreat into fear. And in that storm, you must remember one timeless truth: stillness holds more power than chaos. In these days, your stillness is your greatest refuge. Because when everything seems to shake around you, the only place to find true clarity is within. You do not need to react to everything. You do not need to solve every problem the moment it presents itself. These days are not an invitation to create more noise. They are here to sharpen your ability to observe without entanglement. In silence, you see what is true. In stillness, you feel what is essential. And when you return to that quiet inner space, you begin to see that the external noise is only a current trying to pull you away from your own center. The world outside will offer you tests on the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Messages, distractions, conflicts, unexpected events. Everything will seek to pull your energy outward. But that is the nature of the world. The real practice is to remain rooted inwardly. Not distant, not cold, but inwardly present and aware. There is great strength in holding your center. When others lose their way in the storm, you can remain grounded. When emotional waves rise, you can remain calm. That is the real training. Most people speak too quickly, react too fast, and move too impulsively. Then they wonder why their lives feel unstable. Silence is not weakness. It is mastery. These 3 days are asking you, can you remain quiet long enough to hear your own wisdom? Can you stay still long enough to know your next aligned move? Because in the deep silence, answers arise. Not from frantic logic, but from calm presence. It is easy to speak. It is easy to judge. But it requires true discipline to pause, to breathe, to listen. Especially when the ego wishes to defend itself. Especially when the mind is a torrent of noise. And that is what can make these days feel so challenging. Not the external events, but the inner dance between silence and reaction, between awareness and habit, between who you are now and who you are aspiring to be. If you are pulled into the chaos now, you are simply returning to your old patterns. If you hold your silence, you step into a new way of being. And that is the invitation. The 10th, 11th, and 12th are here to help you break your patterns, but only if you allow it. If you speak in the same way, act in the same way, and think in the same way, you will get the same results. These days are not about doing more. They are about being more still, more clear, more in command of your own inner space. The more chaotic the outer world becomes, the more still you must become inside. That is the path of balance. That is the lesson. You do not win these days by using force. You find your way through them with inner stillness, with deep alignment. You do not need to have all the answers. You just need to stop adding to the noise. Let the storm move around you. Let the emotions rise and fall like clouds passing in the sky without attaching to them. Let others speak while you listen from a place deeper than you ever have before. These days will show you with great precision where your triggers lie, where you still choose to react instead of reflect, where your silence breaks. But do not see this as a failure. See it as feedback. You are not being attacked. You are being shown your path. You are being invited to become the master of your own inner temple. Every reaction is a mirror, and the silence, that is the mirror that reflects your true strength. You do not need to isolate yourself. You do not need to run away. You need to be fully present with your breath, with your emotions, with your thoughts, but without becoming a servant to them. That is the practice. That is the real test of October 10th, 11th, and 12th. Can you see the storm and not be swept away by it? Can you feel the wave without becoming the water? Most people stumble not because of what happens to them, but because of how they respond. These days will demonstrate that truth. Someone may say something that stings. Something unexpected may disrupt your plans. And in that space, you will have a moment of pure choice. React as you always have, or pause in silence and rise above it. And that single moment can shape everything that follows. There is strength in holding your words. There is clarity in waiting. There is wisdom in not acting immediately. But only if you trust the silence, only if you respect it. It is not empty. It is full of insight, full of guidance. But it only speaks when the mind becomes quiet. Do not fear the silence. Do not rush to fill it. Allow it to stretch. Allow it to open a deeper space within you. Because that depth is where your true self resides. And these 3 days are the perfect time to meet that self. Not the mask you wear for the world, not the voice you use to defend your ego, the self that rests beneath it all. The 10th, 11th, and 12th are here to strip away the noise and return you to what is simple, real, and unshakable. You do not need to fight the world. You do not need to prove anything. You just need to stay still, breathe, watch, and learn. And in that stillness, everything will reveal itself. Answers will come. Peace will come. And most importantly, you will come home to yourself. These are not easy days. They are not light days. But if you move through them with silence as your guide, you will emerge stronger than ever before. Not louder, but stronger. Quieter, clearer, and more centered in your own life than you have ever been. The 10th, 11th, and 12th will not wait for you. These are not ordinary days. These are days of decision, days of separation, days where the prepared find their center and the distracted are swept away by the current. You do not get to wander through them unconsciously. You must be awake, because if you are not awake, these days will illuminate your inner friction. But if you are prepared, they will reveal your inner strength. Life rarely gives the same lesson twice in the same way. Consider these 3 days a clear lesson. Not because some external force is coming to challenge you, but because what you have refused to gently face within yourself will finally ask for your attention. This is a time when many will feel shaken. They will fall back into old habits. They will feel lost in emotional storms. They will react without thinking. But those who have trained, those who have built their inner foundation, they will not be moved. They will not be shaken. They will hold their ground. These days will not ask you who you say you are. They will reveal who you have practiced being. When pressure builds, when noise is all around, when time itself feels condensed, your true nature is what emerges. That is why these days are so significant. Not because of what happens, but because of how you meet what happens. And only those who are prepared will walk this path with grace. Preparation is not rooted in fear. It is rooted in clarity. You do not wait for the rain to begin before building a shelter. You build it when the sun is shining. In the same way, your mind must be cultivated in clarity before the pressure arrives. Your discipline must be a trusted friend before temptation appears. Your awareness must be sharp before the chaos begins. These 3 days are not for playing games. They are here to distinguish those who are truly committed to their path from those who merely speak of it. Ask yourself right now, are you ready for this passage from the 10th to the 12th? Not with your words, but with your daily practices. Are you grounded? Are you focused? Are you committed? Because these days will pull for your attention. They will challenge your routines. They will test your emotional equanimity. And if your foundation is built on sand, it will feel unsteady. But if you have been preparing, you will stand firm while others are moved. The truth is simple: you become what you practice. If you have been practicing distraction, you will feel scattered. If you have been practicing self-doubt, you will hesitate. If you have been practicing weakness, you will feel you are breaking. But if you have been practicing discipline, clarity, and stillness, you will lead. Because true leadership is not about titles. It is not about status. It is about your energy. It is about your stability. It is about the way you hold your center when everything else seems to be falling away. Most people will look for help on the outside. They will seek advice. They will seek comfort. They will seek shortcuts. But the prepared soul knows that everything they need is already within, because they have done the inner work. And that work speaks with a quiet power during times like these. On October 10, 11, and 12, the energy will feel potent. Emotions will rise. A sense of the unknown may surround you. But the prepared person does not flinch. They do not fold. They remain calm, focused, and ready. Preparation is not a single action. It is a way of life. Every moment you choose growth over comfort, you prepare. Every time you choose to breathe instead of react, you prepare. Every time you rise early, move with intention, read wisdom, and reflect in silence, you prepare. So that when the test arrives, you do not panic. You respond with clarity, with presence, with inner strength. You do not get to choose when life presents a challenge, but you always get to choose how you meet it. These days are the challenge, and if you are not ready now, begin to get ready with great urgency. There is no more time for delay, no more space for excuses, no more room for pretending. Either you are guiding your inner state, or you are being guided by it. Either you are leading your energy, or your energy is leading you. And on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of October, that truth will be made plain. The storm is not on the horizon, it is here. The chaos is not a future event, it is now. And if you cannot hold your ground, you will feel swept away. But if you can, if you stand tall in your discipline and clarity, you will rise while others feel they are falling. You will move forward while others pause in fear. You will create from a place of stillness while others are consumed by chaos. Because you are ready. These days are not here to frighten you. They are here to reveal you. And if you do not like the reflection you see, choose to change it. Not tomorrow, now. Because every breath you take without awareness is a missed opportunity to prepare. Every moment spent lost in distraction is a moment of power you have given away. And right now, you need all your power, all your focus, all your awareness. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to carry you through this. This is your test, your fire. You either walk through it with quiet strength, or you let its heat consume you. But if you are prepared, truly prepared, it will not burn you. It will refine you. It will shape you into something stronger, something truer, something new. The 10th, 11th, and 12th of October are not the end. They are a beginning, but only for those who are ready, only for those who choose to step forward while others step back. Be one of the centered, be one of the focused, be one of the prepared. Because when the storm of this moment clears, the landscape of your life will look different. And those who are ready will be the ones who help shape it with wisdom and grace.